Hello and welcome back to Demi's Bot Shots and the CYBERTRON archive, where we're going wave by wave and size class by size class through every single toy in the CYBERTRON toy line. Today, we're going to be talking about Wave 1 of Voyagers with a couple of extra guests. So, let's just get right into it with our first Voyager of today being Vector Prime. Vector Prime was original to CYBERTRON as the keeper of space and time, and helped the Autobots in order to help find the Cyberplanet keys to reawaken Primus. And in terms of design, he is phenomenal here with that sort of ancient clockwork design to separate him from the rest of the line and make him look ancient and different from everybody else. I love the sort of Da Vinci-esque design, as well as his little head sculpt there, giving clear nod to being referenced to the Autobot symbol faction design, with those silver sideburns, and his color scheme as well being this sort of just off white, which I think it was originally white, but it's been 20 years. I don't quite remember. So either white or very off white, and this gold accent with the metallic teal. It's such a fun color scheme, and the bits of translucent teal that help out with that, so nice to look at. In terms of accessories, he comes with a awesome looking translucent teal sword, which of course he can hold in either hand. He comes with a missile, which I'll show off when we get to vehicle mode, because it's not really relevant to robot mode. And he, like several characters in this line, comes with his own Minicon partner, in this case being the Minicon Safeguard. Safeguard being sort of Vector Prime's assistant as well as his arm rifle in some scenes. Super fun design. He's nice and well posable for a figure of his size. And he had his moments in the show, but he was definitely, like the other non-speaking Minicons, just kind of there. But we love him anyway. And of course, Safeguard having that quick and easy transformation into his little mini spaceship mode, which himself could then be plugged onto Vector Prime's arm to give that sort of arm cannon look, like so many Transformers are off to have. He's just a lovely guy. And Vector Prime, of course, just like everybody else, has his own little moment to shine in the CYBERTRON opening credits, which shows off a very significant point of his transformation with the head turn. Easily one of my favorite moments, and one of the things that always pops in my head when I think about CYBERTRON. But of course, his transformation is actually really fun as well, and rather intuitive, as most of them were. So let's take a quick look at that. And here we have Vector Prime's spaceship mode. It's so fun to see that basically he just curls into a ball and his backpack unfolds into the spaceship. Normally, that kind of lazy design would be something I'm not the biggest fan of, but in this particular case, since he kind of transforms into a Cybertronian alt mode, as well as being an ancient transformer, I like this sort of simplistic transformation. And even being simplistic, there's still moments that make it look intentional. The way the shoulder pads combine with the arm guards to create that solid shape, the booster designs that are in his thighs, the way these solar sails unfold to the sides. And of course the way that Safeguard can just tack right on top into a groove on the top to form that combined spaceship mode. He's a super fun mode, super fun design, and of course, as I was about to show off before, he does have a missile firing gimmick as well, where he shoots a missile out of the front of his ship design. Now, there is one thing that I didn't touch on with Vector Prime, mainly because, unfortunately, this is my original copy, and I was not the biggest friend to it. He does have some light and sound gimmicks, which originally were run with AAA batteries. Originally, you would plug the Cyberplanet key into the hole on his chest, and he would go off doing some lights and sounds. Unfortunately, that no longer works on my copy. I tried putting in fresh AAAs, and it was just dead. But, while we are here talking about Cyberplanet keys, I haven't talked a lot about everybody's individual because we haven't really run into it yet, but some characters got really fun, individually designed Cyberplanet keys, and Vector Prime is no exception. That is not showing up on camera super well, but it is a beautiful translucent teal with a secondary piece, which doesn't happen for any other Cyberplanet key other than Vector Prime's, that shows off all of the little planet symbols in a little metallic sheen. It's such a fun design, and I'm sad that I lost my original, but actually, the morning of the day that I'm filming this, I got my replacement in from a lovely person on eBay. So I have to be thankful for that. But Vector Prime himself, super fun figure. I really love getting to see another Prime besides just Optimus. And it makes me want to see Vector Prime again soon, which, if the rumors are to be believed, might happen. Who knows? But he wasn't the only person in his wave. Of course, we've got another friend to talk about. That, of course, being, I talked about him briefly. I mentioned him, name-dropped him in the Scout review. Let's talk about Crumplezone. Crumplezone here is a super bulky, lovely fella. I love everything about his green aesthetic. The giant Chompaclaw, which does actually have jaw articulation. Not something you see every day, even nowadays, but it's so fun to see. The awesome heft to the lad. He is built like a truck, and it's so fun to see. His giant, bulky arms, his tiny legs, which somehow just help sell his bulk, and of course, the giant backpack, which, as well, houses his Cyberplanet key gimmick, and an electronic feature that actually does work, asterisk, where the Cyberplanet key will open up and unlock his shoulder cannons and play a sound. Not the sound it originally played, but we'll give a quick listen to that. I have no idea if that came on camera, but I'm kind of hoping it did. At this point, it just kind of sounds like static, but I think it's supposed to imitate the sound of like an engine revving. I can't really tell anymore. It's been, again, 20 years since the figure came out, roughly. So, not a lot you can do there. But the shoulder cannons are super fun and have their own missile firing gimmicks, which I believe I took a video of. And he's just got everything that you would want to see out of a big Decepticon bruiser, even if he did not know how to use it in the cartoon. He was a lovely comedy double act with Ransack. And of course, the transformation on this guy is absolutely lovely. Let's get a quick look at that. And here we have Crumplezone's vehicle mode. Crumplezone turns into this super bulky drag racer trike guy with these wings that normally are housed on top of his little boosters, or can be flipped out to give a sort of winged speed mode vibe to him, being from the Speed Planet, of course. He's got everything that I would want to see out of this kind of idea. It's got a lovely cockpit that you can see into and see a bit of a seat in there, a little bit of a Diaclone vibe, as well as these lovely wheels, both the two that were on his arms and the one that folds out for the front. I like the shape that his toes give of that sort of angled speed aerodynamic design. And of course his Cyberplanet key works in this mode too, flinging forward his boosters into those two missile launchers, which this time are held facing directly forward so he can blast people in front of him. And that same engine goes off, which who knows if that's how it originally sounded. My nostalgia has blinded me in that regard. But overall, Crumplezone is a lovely little guy, or lovely big guy, I should say, and an amazing wave mate for Vector Prime, closing out America's Wave 1 of Voyagers. However, there is another character that I'd like to give some mention to in this video, that of course being Starscream. Now, for those of you that may have been around for Cybertron in America, you may know that Starscream did not get a mainline Voyager release. Starscream's Voyager was designed and did get a release in Takara's Japanese version, Galaxy Force, but in order to promote the Supreme class Starscream that they designed, they didn't sell the Voyager version in the original color scheme. They did, however, offer it as a Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack with our buddy Vector Prime here, so we're going to give a quick look at that, at Cybertron Starscream. And of course, because I am a Cybertron nerd, and I knew that I wanted the original color scheme too, we also have our first Galaxy Force of the collection. There will be a couple throughout, being Galaxy Force Starscream as well. Now, aside from color scheme, these two are the exact same figure, so I'm going to talk about them at the same time and sort of go back and forth between the two as I can feel like it. So, let's talk Starscream. The design for Starscream is definitely bulkier than any Starscream we've seen previously. I believe that this design was actually based on The War Within, and a sort of Cybertronian Starscream design from there, or I could be mistaken and it's the other way around. A lot of what you'd expect to see from a Starscream is still here. The head sculpt is very Starscream-esque. He's got those lovely sort of shoulder stacks like Starscream usually has. The cockpit nose, even though it's a little bit further down to add room for some more design. He's got awesome wings that this time are on his arms instead of behind them. And instead of being the rear of the plane, this Starscream chooses to have what will become the sides of the front of his plane as his legs, giving this awesome sort of giant boot approach that I just really love. And of course he's got a platform of sorts on the back of his body, which, if we activate the Cyberplanet key real fast, triggers, in a genius feat of engineering, oh come on, swords popping out of both of his sort of arm wings. He's got two lovely translucent swords, and that plastic just absolutely shines. It is so fun to see, and the design is so lovely. Of course, Cybertron Starscream showed off multiple weapons coming out of those. Blades in some aspects, and then later on, Starscream also flipped out a gun out of that Cyberplanet key gimmick, which is not on either of the Voyager releases, but is seen in the Supreme release. So, obviously, later design, who knows. But Cybertron Starscream has, in my opinion, one of the best transformations of the Cybertron line, and I know I say the best a lot, but in this case, Cybertron Starscream, well, chef's kiss, absolute favorite design in terms of transformation. So let's go ahead and get on that. And here we have Galaxy Force, Cybertron, Starscream alt modes. These lovely cyber jets pay a beautiful homage to the sort of tetrajet design that we saw in the G1 cartoon for Cybertronian Starscream, while also choosing to pick their own thing and give it a bit more of a flattened out, still aerodynamic jet design, while still having the hallmark tetrajet feel to it. The blaster, which I didn't really talk about in robot mode, fits perfectly underneath so that he can still use it in either mode. He can blast it in robot mode, he can blast it in jet mode, he can do either one. And of course, since I've been holding Cybertron Starscream for most of this, for the shots of me, I just want to give a special brief moment to the art deco that was used for the Cybertron release here in America. Of course, it's not show accurate, instead giving this lovely sort of dark red and silver design, which Transformers fans are probably screaming that just looks like Thrust. And so he's kind of taken this like Cybertron Thrust vibe in my collection, but he's also a really fun example of the benefits of corporate stuff in a way. Like, yes, we should have gotten the original Starscream colors in the more affordable Voyager price point here in America. But we still got this really fun Thrust design that we wouldn't have seen had it not happened. Of course, this was before any Seeker design that you got was guaranteed to have 15 different recolors as everybody. Though they were usually pretty good about getting a Starscream Thundercracker Skywarp. Which, even in this series, which we'll get to, we've got a lot of waves to go, but we will get to Skywarp. But that's going to be kind of it for these 4 Voyagers. I am super thrilled to be able to keep going with this sort of thing. As we keep going, please feel free to mention any of your favorite things with any of these bots. Again, Cybertron is really close to me, and I hope that there are others that it attaches to as well. So, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time as we talk about the Ultras. As we talk about the Ultras. We'll save the leaders for their own, because of course we will. So, thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye!